Back in the mailbag here. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. We've been just kind of really busy with the office lately. So here's an interesting one. This comes from a young lady who is having quite a bit of trouble with a condition called Bullous Pemphigoid. It is a blistering that occurs on the skin tissue. It likes the creases predominantly. I've seen it on toes in my practice before. I've seen it in the inner elbows, under the breast tissue. You can see it in a number of different places. What's interesting about it, when you look at the condition, if you look at it medically, they don't have a clue. And that's kind of something that you'll hear a lot. If you ever hear etiology unknown, autoimmune's a great one that I like. If you hear those terms, that's a very polite way of saying, gosh, we just don't have any idea what's wrong with you. Well, then what do you do? If they don't know what it is or why it is, then what do you do? So let's go through what we do know. We do know that it is an infection of some kind that occurs below the skin level. It tends to affect not the surface of the skin, but just directly below it. And for some reason, the immune system, they think, goes a little haywire. Now, in my practice, I don't believe in that. I don't think the immune system ever goes haywire. I think it does exactly what it's designed to do. So then if you're getting a reaction, and you're getting blisters, and these blisters can pop and break, and if they get infected, you can get sepsis and things like that. That's when they can become dangerous. But if this is going on, immediately to start thinking, okay, why? I've got an immune system that's attacking certain tissue. It's not attacking your own tissue, and that's really one of the most misleading things about autoimmune disorders. It's usually attacking something else that has gone wrong. It can be viral. It can be bacterial in nature. It could be just a toxin of some sort, a heavy metal or something that's gotten a little out of control, where the body's trying to wall it off and get rid of it, and you're getting a reaction to it. Now, normal treatment for this would be steroids. You would see anti-inflammatories of some kind, sometimes an antibiotic. Now, the number one causes that we know that tend to bring this condition on, most likely, medications. People on medication start developing this problem. People who have done chemotherapy, cancer treatments, start developing this problem. So right away, you start saying, well, this autoimmune problem, this unknown answer, may already have one. We're looking at, okay, medications. We bring those in. They're not really natural. They are an irritant, even though they're good. There's a running joke that the only difference between a medication and a poison is the dose. And so again, I'm not anti-medicine in any way whatsoever, but we're looking at this and saying, well, it's possible, and that's a common cause here. We see that most of the time they see it with a class of different medications can aggravate it. We see it with chemotherapy, which we know is very hard on the body, can aggravate it. So we start looking and say, okay, if the body's got maybe for lack of better words, a poison floating around inside, then it may be reacting to that poison. And this may be the result of it. So this Bullous Pemphigoid condition that we see may just be a result of the body trying to rid itself of a foreign agent. All right, so then let's look at it that way. What would I do in practice, and what have I done before in the past? We always start with a 24-hour UA. The urine is going to tell me, again, what is the body holding on to? What is it throwing away? Which organ systems are getting pushed too hard? You have to see who's getting pushed the hardest, because that's where the fight is. Then once you do the UA, you got to change that diet, because we do know that diet, in my experience with this condition, helps a lot. You have to go anti-inflammatory, which means good quality fats in the diet, lots of protein, limit the breads, the grains, the cereals. The sugars seem to aggravate it. The next thing you do is, I believe in supporting the immune system, not in a way where you're trying to bump it up falsely, but give it what it needs. I'm an enzyme fan. Help the liver. Flush the liver, because most skin conditions involve the liver. Everything from shingles to psoriasis to eczema are tied to the liver or the bowel in one way or another. If you can support those two areas, which happen to house the lion's share of your immune system, if you can support them and give them what they need, you'll get your life back. It's that simple. I hope that helps.